Okay, so you did mention the days of Madchild being, addicted to drugs. There's been a lot of drug bashing going on in these last couple songs as well. Madchild does speak openly about his sobriety in interviews and in songs that he does. Is that something you've been known for him to practice currently?
Hand to God, eye to eye, man to man, mano y mano. Since the day that he came back out of, he went to rehab, it didn't work. He fell back into it. Mm-hmm. He came back and he literally locked himself in a room for, I don't know how long it was, 3 to 5 days. And just, I'm sure he was climbing the walls. I couldn't tell you what was going on in there. Mm-hmm. But since that day when he proclaimed, you guys, that almost killed me. He lost a lot. He sacrificed a lot. He put a lot at risk. Mm-hmm. Since that day, I can honestly tell you, with my own 2 eyes, I've never seen that happen again.
Right. So it could be fabricated on Snak's behalf, in your opinion.
I have never seen it happen with my own 2 eyes.
Right. Now the reaction came from online. People seem to think it took forever to get the reaction. What was your reaction to the reaction from people online, seeing all the comments and whatnot? And did you see any of that? And what did you take on the response time that Madchild had?
Again, I'm not super plugged into the stream,
right.
But of course I knew there was a lag time that people were addressing. You have to keep in mind, when you're touring, it's a completely different beast.
For sure.
You're not sitting at home with a studio in the house or direct access to a studio. You're on a bus or on a plane or in a vehicle and you're traveling and you've been rocking shows every night for however many nights straight. So as an old school battle MC, I'm a freestyler. I go off the top. Mm-hmm. So would my reaction time been different? Yes, just naturally because of the pre-construct that I have practiced for so many years, walking around Victoria, and when I moved to Vancouver, right. Walking across the Broad Street Bridge back and forth 11 times, freestyling for 3 hours at a time to get my skill set up. Mm-hmm. Would I have approached it differently? I would have. Do I discredit Mad for the way that he approached it and what I'm sure was a laborious thought process to gauge his reaction? No, I think it's as appropriate as the individual deems it to be. Only they can gauge what they feel their reaction time needs to be for them.
And when he did drop the funeral, it did come. Mm-hmm. What was your take as a battle MC, as a freestyler, as somebody who's come up in that culture? What did you think of his reaction?
Well, I've seen Mad hone his skills in the battle arena, obviously,
Absolutely.
From the first KOTD battle to the second one. And he would be the first to admit that wasn't his arena growing up. I was the battler out of the crew.
Right.
So years ago when he said, you guys, I'm going to go into KOTD, I thought, this is a great tool for you to add to your toolkit as an MC. I've always felt that being in that environment, feeling that raw energy, I mean, it's almost like being a theatrical actor. It's live, it's in front of the audience, there's no shut the camera off and take it, like do a second take, right? It's You're raw, you're in the moment, the energy's flowing. So I really thought it was dope that he would try to add that after such a lengthy career. Mm-hmm. It's not that we've been MCing for 2 years and decide, let's try this too. It's like you're tried, tested, and true, and now you want to add this to your resume? I respected that a lot.
Right. And it wasn't just Snak here in Vancouver that took shots at Madchild. Matt Brevner followed it up with his own diss track, Waterloo. And and he breaks down that he wasn't credited or properly paid for the Jitters video and song, which turned out to be a 2012 top 10 on Much Music. And Madchild claims that he did credit everybody properly on that album. It should be pretty easy to figure out who's telling the truth in that case, shouldn't it?
Well, I suppose it would be as easy as reading the album credits. I didn't write them, nor have I read them.
Right.
So I couldn't tell you exactly what information is in there verbatim or word for word. So I suppose you're right, though. I would agree. It would be easy enough to find out who was and who wasn't credited.
For sure. Matt Brevner bigged you guys up even and said, I guess he did, called for you, Mocha, or Rob to replace Madchild as the leader of Battleaxe. What is your current involvement with this movement, BAX WAR, at the moment?
Well, believe me, I've been tumbling through all this stuff the last couple days. I'm the second ever Battleaxe Warrior, when you really think about it.
Right.
This to me has always been a community and family-based movement. When it started, it was myself, Mad, Abby, Tony the Schizo, Mr. Brady, Elemento,
Buck 50,
Rob. It was a crew of enthusiastic, young, hungry DJs, producers, and rappers.
Right.
I have always in my heart carried the essence of what Battleaxe Warriors started as, and I carry that into the modern era. So to me, it's always a community, it's always a family. But like any family or any community, especially, I don't know how many family members you have, but if you sat down at a Christmas dinner with 5,000 of your family members,
right.
Some people are going to bicker, some people aren't going to get along, some people are going to make peace. It's going to be a constant fluctuating, metamorphosizing entity.
Right.
And Battleaxe Warriors is no different. Keep in mind as well, it's not that it's just 5,000 people. It's 5,000 people worldwide. Some that speak different languages, some different time zones, areas of communication. Some things get lost in translation. I don't think that will ever change, nor, to be honest, I don't feel that it should. It should be a living, live entity that has its own persona. And that is a constant influx and outflux of changing voices and characters.
Right. And so are you as actively involved with it currently with this new album coming out and everything like that? Is this a BAX WAR project in a sense?
Again, I consider myself one of the originals.
Right.
That's in my blood. That's for me would be to say that I'm no longer, that hip hop no longer lives in me. It's too late. Mm-hmm. It's in there. It's somewhere here in my DNA. Mm-hmm. So it's inseparable from my character. It helps guide and sculpt my character.
Right. When this thing with SDK, I think from a lot of people's point of view, it seems like there should not be a feud between this crew and this crew. What do you think about that, Neph?
I don't think the clubs being involved should be a no-no. This is between two grown men, two rappers.
Right.
Let them rap, let them talk their jazz towards each other, and the supporters and fans can't be going at each other. It's just not good for the community, for hip-hop. This is a small scene here in Vancouver.
Right.
So to split that right down the middle, it's just not a good look.
Just let them do what they do, right?
Absolutely. Let them rap.
And somebody I don't think, at least I didn't think I was going to hear from, was Tre Nyce. He jumped in on the beef as well, and he rolled heavy with you guys during the Armed to the Teeth era, and then that album and the tour supporting that. He literally said he doesn't know anyone who's real who would stand behind Madchild. It's pretty harsh words, from a guy who was in Swollen Members. What do you feel about that?
When we were all living in Kelowna recording Armed to the Teeth, imagine this household. Me, Mad, Rob Viking. Tre Nyce, Cash. 7 dogs, 6 of which were bigger than all of us combined. In a house tucked in the farthest reaches of Kelowna. Again, you become family with people really quickly. Tre and I had a great outlet in that we had a boxing club about 2 blocks from the house that we got a set of keys to from the coach. And Tre and I were in that club every day boxing, lifting weights and boxing, every day. We got to know each other really well. I'm pretty sure that Tre knows my character. He knows the kind of person that I am. I'm a family guy in that I'm a loyalist. Mm-hmm. I get people are going to make mistakes. People are going to say things they regret. That doesn't limit itself to rap music or hip-hop culture. I know how real I have been with this genre of music and this thing that started out as a subculture that is now a worldwide phenomenon.
Right.
I never questioned my value in it. But I should, like we all should, we should always be continuously questioning our self-value and our self-worth. To be able to do that means that you get to continue through the cycle of life and being honest with yourself. Without that, there's no gauge. I've had times where I've been down on myself and felt like I was letting myself down by not living up to my potential. I reacted in ways that I looked back, and had I had the chance to do it over again, I would have reacted differently. But that's just not the reality. And I think this is one of those instances. As we grow, we will all learn from what has gone on over the last couple of days or last couple of weeks. I think this is going to be a huge lesson, a huge center of learning for all of us. People are going to glean different inspirations from this and different viewpoints. This is what happens when you make art, when you make products, when you make shoes, t-shirts, food. You put it out to the world, believing in it, hoping that other people will like it. But sometimes people don't like the same things as the guy next to them or the lady next to them. I think this is one of the cyclic channels that we're involved in right now. This thing's going to keep morphing and twisting and shifting and changing. And to Neph's point earlier, social media is the new voice of storytelling. It's the new way of handwritten letters. It's the new school, old school phone call when your phone was at the house, before we had answering machines.
For sure.
So will this continue to generate and take different faces and different shapes and forms? Yes, and anyone that expects that it will be anything less, I think, is fooling themselves.
But so yes, but back to Tre Nyce. I mean, he did put out a song where he took all Swollen Members beats, basically shit on Madchild all over them. I mean, what's your relationship with Tre? Have you talked to him about this? Coming up in our final segment of our interview with Prevail and Neph, we talk about the relationship between Tre Nyce and Prevail. We also talk about Prevail's battle roots and if he'd ever battle in KOTD, and if this battle between Madchild and Snak is good for Vancouver hip-hop.